Hello, everyone. My guest today is Leibel Hecht. He used to be a rabbi, but then moved into tech. He's currently a tech lead at ProDeg by day, and on these days and nights and weekends, he works and hacks on various projects. Most recently, he acquired a Shopify app through micro-acquire, and he's spending all of his 9 to 5, non-9 to 5 hours on that. Leibel, how are you? Ready to take us to the top?
I am ready. Let's
All
do
right.
it.
So the app is called Reporty.app. Tell us what the company does.
Yeah, so it's a Shopify app that allows you to set various types of notifications and reports to be sent out, daily, weekly, monthly about your purchases, your orders on your Shopify store, and you can include, all sorts of tracking data, UTM values, etc., stuff like that.
And so I want to get into the story of why you chose to acquire this versus build it from scratch. So let's sort of dive into that. When did you buy it off of micro-acquire?
So I closed it, I think it was last week, Monday.
Okay, so very recently. And do you know
Yeah.
when it was launched, when those founders wrote the first line of code?
I think about a year and a half ago. So relatively recently.
Yeah, fairly young. So what made it stand out to you on micro-acquire? There's a lot of companies for sale there, sort of micro SaaS companies. Why did you pick this one?
Yeah, I've I've been hacking on various stuff on the side, all sorts of stuff from like an SMS based tipping app to like an automated deal aggregator. Um, and I finally settled on on a market I want to get into in SaaS. I want to get into e-commerce tools specifically. For various reasons. I have a bunch of friends in the industry. I think it's a growing industry and there's just a lot of potential. So I wasn't really planning on buying something. I wanted to start building something. I started looking into different like inventory tracking options, talking to a bunch of friends that do e-commerce, mostly on Amazon, but also some Shopify. And I would just kind of browse on micro-acquire. I found that I think on Product Hunt, and I've just been following their stuff. And then this came up. So I'm like, hey, this seems like a perfect opportunity for me. Look, I've never run a business. And for me, I've been following a lot of Rob Walling stuff. Start small, stair step.
Yep, I love
So
all Rob stuff.
yeah, so I was like, this should be a great opportunity. I'm basically going to treat it as my mini MBA. It's not a massive acquisition, and I just want to kind of milk it for everything I can get from it. Mostly learning, and hopefully I can also turn it into something that can make a few bucks.
How many customers did it have when you acquired it last week?
So I have those numbers in front of me.
Great.
So total of 454 free users, 27 paid users. Sorry, 26 paid users. We have one new paid user since last week. So significant amount of traction for a small app.
How much revenue does that mean for 26 customers?
So it was 375 MRR. Now it's at 385. Again, it was a small acquisition, but I really plan to use this as, like I said, my mini MBA. And I think the founder really hadn't done any marketing for it. And what gave me a lot of hope for it is probably the fourth day that I had the app. A like Fortune 500 consumer packaged goods company opened an account, a paid account. So little things like that. It's like, okay, there's probably a lot of potential here. Doesn't have to just stay with Slack notifications. Sorry, I don't remember if I mentioned it's specifically Slack right now. Can move into WhatsApp reports and notifications, SMS reports and notifications, email reports and notifications, more smart, logic-based, if-else based notifications and stuff like that. So I think there's a lot of room to grow. But again, for me, it's really about learning the business side, the marketing side. I could do the tech side already.
So 26 customers, they pay on average about, call it 15, 16 bucks a month. So $375 per month in revenue. You see an opportunity to expand this from, just updating companies in Slack via, your e-commerce reporting to other channels as well. What did you pay for the app?
So all in, it was 20 grand.
Okay. And how did you think about that in terms of like valuation? Does it make you nervous that you're spending 20 grand on this?
So yeah, I'm a developer by day, but I got a couple of kids, so I don't have a ton of cash just sitting around. For me, it was really, so, I mean, there's people who sell pre-revenue starter SaaSes at that. I don't think it's super expensive. It's not a super high multiple either. Let's say, you give it around $4,000 ARR. It's not a terrible multiple at all. And again, for me, it's such a small number in terms of like big acquisitions, that for me is about the learning. And if this is what's going to throw me into the industry and force me to learn about paid acquisition, force me to learn about churn, force me to learn about marketing, I think it's going to pay off tenfold.
Did you ever do an analysis on what it would cost you to just build the thing? And could you do it for maybe $5,000 instead of 20?
I probably could, but again, it's because it's a nights and weekends thing. For me, it's really about just throwing me in there. It's a lot harder to take something from 0 to 1 than it is to take it from 1 to 50, in my opinion.
I definitely agree with that. So got it. So 26 customers. So, I mean, you're in it now. You have sunk costs. You got $20,000 in. And so you're sort of now, you got to make this thing work. What's the next step? What are you going to test?
So I think next step is step one. Originally, I thought step one is kind of clean up the landing page, make it nice and modern. But then I realized, let's first of all try and not write a line of code. Just reach out to the customers first. Reach out, see, first of all, if they're happy, can they give me a review? Reviews are everything on app stores. That's step number one. Step number two is ask them what they'd like as their next feature. Maybe I can add more smart reporting tools. Maybe they, really, I guess the next step would be figuring out how to monetize those free users, because there's quite a few of them. And maybe some kind of meter-based charges, or just basically grandfathering in whoever's already there, and switch it to a 14-day trial and really try and make the product better so people sign on to a paid plan earlier.
Which app store,
really the marketing side.
Which app store are you trying to get rankings in? Where's it listed currently?
So it's just the Shopify app store. It's a Shopify app.
And how many reviews currently?
8 5-star reviews.
And so how do you get that to the point where it's got like 80, 90, 100 so that you start ranking high in that store? Then you'll get, free users from Shopify once you start getting higher ratings or a higher placement in the app store.
Yeah. So I think it starts with talking to the customers, just personal emails. Like if I have their email addresses, I can reach out. I can try 10 a day, just send out 10 personal emails a day from Leibel at Reporty. Hey, are you enjoying this? I'd really appreciate it if you can give a review. And then just hear their feedback. Maybe there are things that, they would really push them from a free plan into a paid plan. Maybe there are things that I can improve that would make them happy to give me a review right away. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm really in that just learning how to talk to customers phase.
Very cool. And what would have to happen for this side project for you to go, you know what, I want to do this full time?
So this particular tool, I don't know if this one would become full time. If I can basically take the learnings of this tool and figure out how to make a full reporting suite, I guess, then that's probably something I could work on being able to take full time. I really, really do just see this as a learning phase. I live in LA. I'm actually in Melbourne, Australia now, but it's kind of early. But that's when my brain's working a little bit slow. It's about 3 a.m. here. So I'd need something that's slightly bigger to be able to eventually jump in, something that potentially I can just get a little bit of investment for so I can jump in full time. So I don't think this tool specifically would be able to be that unless I can kind of expand it to a full suite or into maybe a basket of a few different apps. So, you start with just that one other thing I was thinking about is, let's say I do want to add a WhatsApp integration, a Microsoft Teams integration, email integration, all those. Do I want to do it under the same app umbrella? I don't really know how that would affect app rankings on the App Store, if it's good or bad. Do I want to do separate apps, one app, a few apps that feed into each other? So if I can kind of create a basket like that, maybe that's something that can take me forward.
And then, you definitely want to learn marketing yourself, or is this actually a measurement and for you to challenge yourself to figure out how to go find talent, a freelance marketer that can help pour fuel on your fire, or are you going to keep this a one-man show with no team?
I'm not sure. That's why I said this is I'm using this to learn. So,
But you're a developer by trade. That your full-time job is you're a lead engineer at a company, correct?
yeah, but I wouldn't say I'm necessarily the stereotypical engineer. I really, really like the business side of things. I write code every day, but I'm also managing a team and doing a lot of stuff on the people side. And, I love all things business and investing. So I definitely want to learn the marketing side, the people side, the management side. Whether or not which direction I end up going, I'm not sure, but I want to learn that side.
For someone else listening to this, wanting to buy their first SaaS company, sort of a micro-SaaS, and they don't want to start from scratch, where, MicroFire is a great resource. Where else did you look? Where else should people hunt for these?
I looked on Flippa. There's a new one I saw pop up on Product Hunt called By My Side Project. I guess I would also ask them to just, why are you buying it? For me, I have a family, so it's a little bit more difficult to get things off the ground after hours. So if you throw yourself in, for me, that was a big motivation. But a lot of people don't have to buy it. A lot of people would really benefit from just hammering it out on their own and learning the product market fit themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yep. No, that makes a lot of sense. Very cool. Did you ever look at or think about financing the deal, or were you always just going to use 20 grand, your own capital, all paid cash up front?
I briefly looked into it, but it's such a small acquisition that, any of the loan options weren't really there. Nothing like an SBA loan or anything. SBA starts at like 50, I think.
Yeah. So you just did all cash up front.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. I imagine there's other people looking at this going, wow, I'm an engineer. I could launch a bunch of these side projects and find people like Leibel to buy them for 20 grand. If I do 3 or 4 per year, that's a great business. That's all I need to do, right?
Yeah. Well, look, then I can buy it and then maybe grow it to $2,000 MRR and flip it for 3 or 4x. So
is that your plan? Would that be fun for you to sort of grow this to 4 or 5 grand a month and then flip it again?
It could be a fun opportunity. But yeah, again, it's real for me. It's all about learning. So we'll see where it goes.
All right. Leibel, on that note, let's wrap up with the famous 5. Number 1, what's your favorite business book?
So I'm not a big reader, but I like Tim Ferriss has like a coffee table book. It's called Tools of Titans. All his podcasts, kind of snippets and stuff.
Yep. Number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
Andrew Gazdecki from MicroAcquire. He's having so much fun.
He is. I'm a big fan too. Number 3, what's your favorite online tool for building a business?
I got to say Slack, because this is built on Slack and it's a great tool.
Number 4, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
Usually 6 to 7.
Except not tonight because it's 3 a.m. there right now, huh?
Yeah.
Number 4, last set of questions here. What's your situation? Married, single, kids?
I am married with 2 little kids.
2 kiddos. How old are you?
I am 29.
All right, last question. What's something you wish you knew when you were 20?
I thought about this. I think my answer is that, what's the word? Expertise really begets passion, not necessarily the other way around. So go for the expertise first. Passion is a bit overrated.
Leibel, I would be remiss to end there. I should have asked you this. For other 29-year-olds, they might be wondering, wait, is this Leibel guy have rich parents? Where did he get 20 grand from? You don't want to talk about too much personal stuff, but talk to me about how you've been disciplined and maybe saved money. Like, how'd you get a 20K to spend on this?
Yeah, honestly, I'll be fully honest. So saving, some small consulting gigs on the side, little stimmy helps.
A little
stimulus.
Oh, got it. You're talking about like the $1,200 checks the government sent out.
Yeah, that's just yeah. Well, when you have a couple kids, you get a little bit more.
Yeah.
So yeah, really just kind of scraping it together. And I chose to put it into this, and I'm hoping it'll pay off.
Was there any like, hey, to your spouse, I'm going to spend a lot of our savings on this thing. Like, are you cool with it? And she was like, go for it.
No, I had to convince her, but look, I've been trying to get into these things for a while, and I've been building things, and so it's not like I just came up one day, hey, let's go buy a business. And it really seems to make sense. Look, so far it's been good. So I hope it'll continue.
All right, Leibel. Thanks for taking us to the top.
Thank you, Nathan.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, 3 hungry buyers, they try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it. And the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.